So I say unto you this morning, let the Lord's presence that go with you to work this morning. While you're driving your car, let the presence of the Lord let it rest in you. Oh yes, you can take this presence that you are now receiving. Yes, you're now receiving the presence of the Lord. You can take it in the grocery store. You can take it on your job. You can take it to school. The presence of the Lord never has to cease. As long as He has an invitation, as long as you hunger and thirst after Him, it will come nigh to you. You need to sing it this morning. Let your presence gently rest upon my heart. Lord, let your presence
and suitable understanding. first of all, thank all of you who were kind enough to send your condolences on the recent loss of Paw-Paw. And it's been really appreciated by not just myself, but the entire families and families plural of the influence. So I wanted to personally thank you all for your compassion, support, and most of all, encouragement. What would you rascals like to discuss today? We're very small. We won't get this opportunity very often. Yes, but let me see.
Well, Shaker, if this is appropriate to discuss, you'll let me know. But you and I had conversations about Paw-Paw, and actually the night before his birthday, you shared a lot with me about him being the model of manhood and fatherhood and so on and so forth. And it was really a profound conversation. You shared a lot about his life that I had not heard over all these 20-something years. Would you speak to that a little bit in terms of, if you feel appropriate, that the impact of having him as a father and maybe how that even possibly set you on a path, I don't know, but definitely in terms of having him as an example and a model?
Well, much can be said about Paw-Paw, but basically that's true of anybody who arrogates to himself the status of a father, you see. And you have to understand, beloved, many males do not evolve to that level where they can even function as a father, you see. But for those of us that had a father that had actually matured spiritually to a level that he can father, words are very inadequate to capture that benefit, you see. Our conversation, of course, was tailored to our conversation, but we were sharing, considering the immense value of having a father, especially not just for boys, but for daughters as well, you see. Father is a principle, it's a force, you see. It is a kind of love force that is purpose, along with the love of a mother and the love of a father. These are forces, you see, beloved, that evolve to a higher level of humanity that you can't get from the universities, and you can't get from reading books. You can't think yourself into that condition, you see. No more than you could have fed yourself and wiped your ass when you were a little baby, you see. Hence, in most traditional cultures, you see, the mother, the father, these are the first gurus that we have, you see. And their function in our life is to not just feed you and so forth and so on, and take care of you, to protect you, etc., but to guide you as well. And not so much by lectures, you see, scoldings and so forth, but by example. What you will recognize in your studies of psychology, we call it the modeling imperative, you see. Our principal means of learning is basically imitation. Hence, you become like the company you keep. And that first company is your mother and your father, you see. And so there's no philosophy or lecture that can substitute for having had that kind of a grace, you see. It's a demonstration by grace that you might have in your present lifetime, you may not have had it in your present lifetime, you see. But in its absence, most of us would certainly develop a human deficit disorders, you see. It becomes very difficult to become a good human being, you see. And so the modeling is not just the end of the relationships, but through your practice, your living, then they're the ones that tell you that you have achieved something like the status of a good human being, you see. You can't arrogate that quality to yourself at all. So I remember just one incident, and I won't go on because I don't want to bore you with my biographies and so forth and so on. But I can remember when I graduated from sonship, so to speak. And I won't go into all of the details, but I knew it because Paw-Paw turned around in the car and said, "I'm proud of you, son. You become a wise man." That trumps PhDs.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Much more can be said, but at the risk of boring you all, we can continue our conversation. Something else you rascals would like to discuss? Yes.
Why don't you talk about the importance of understanding the impermanence of things here, if this is where I'm going. So we all know that Donald Trump was going to be assassinated yesterday. And sometimes even in the face of adversity, we don't think about it doesn't bring us to this place of really understanding that, you know, things here are not permanent, not even your life. You don't know when death is going to come. And how in the face of adversities, you can be brought to that brink, but you're still going back to the same old tricks and games without understanding the full impact of the impermanence, if that makes sense without rambling.
Okay. Well, Anika, impermanence certainly is a lesson of life that anybody who claims to be intelligent must incorporate into the way they're doing their life. If it's not incorporated, it's just mere rhetoric, hearsay. It's not there now. So you with me? And it is fundamental in all of the great spiritual traditions, you see. It's about seeing things the way things really are and then living your life on the basis of that, you see. You can't claim that you know that fire will burn if you constantly stick in your hand in fire. It is evident that you really don't know that fire will burn, or else would you keep sticking your hand and then screaming out in pain, you see? So yes, this impermanence, and it's very interesting, pal, that you brought that subject up because this feeling of I amness that you're operating out of, you see, and are perpetuating, that you presume has some kind of continuity over time. That's not true, you see. One of the things that really drives home the essence of the arguments that makes up anicca and impermanence is the death and loss of a loved one. Please make a that moment, you see, you cannot continue to presume that your reality is going to remain fixed. You see, that's not going to happen. And it hits you like a sledgehammer because there's no way to negotiate it. There's nothing you can do in that moment to change anything. Are you with me? You are confronted with a new reality. So these realities are constantly just changing, flowing, and flowing, and then it will hit a dam. And that is what the mystic call the grace of death, the grace of loss. Because in that moment, you can't bullshit yourself no more. You can't presume anything anymore. Your Maya is radically interrupted. And it will generate in you a radical transformation, provided you have a modicum of understanding. So nothing lasts here forever. Nothing. No phenomena. No experience. None of that lasts forever, you see. And death wakes you up to that reality, you see. And it relieves you of this craving and clinging, trying to hold on to that which you cannot hold on to. So it's a form of grace, you see, that ultimately becomes the foundation of your practice of Anika. You're living your life conscious of the impermanent nature of it, you see. There's a lot more can be said. Read a couple of those books you stole from me. And the Buddha goes into it very deeply, but not just Buddha. You see, in Taoism and every great tradition, Christianity, all of them, fundamentally point to the same thing. No one's here forever, including you. The you that you think you are and presume yourself to be, your sense and feeling of I amness, that's also impermanent. Your ego and all that it is made of, that's impermanent. You see? And even some of the other forms of grace, like old age, are you with me? You see, those can be negotiated. You see, you can't run the 40-yard dash in X amount of minutes no more. Kill your damn self. Are you? So those are shifts and changes in your reality. I don't know if any of this makes sense to you, right? But your sense and experience of what you call it reality, it constantly changing, bound to change. And you have no option in it because you can't stop yourself from getting old, can you? You know, you can try in your mind, but nobody gonna fix you a ball and put it in your mouth and drop you in the exam. That shit is over with. You follow me? Are you following me? Yeah. So you're not able to maintain your illusion of continuity here. No such thing exists. You're constantly changing. And if you're not able to handle those changes appropriately, then you suffer. Because you have changed and still thinking that you're something that you were 10 years ago or 2 years ago, et cetera, et cetera. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Time then becomes a fundamental core and component of self-delusion. Time. That's what, in the presumption that you have more of it, then you're going to have the same continuity of the reality here. It's called much suffering. You see? Make sense? A little sense at least. But so much more can be said. So much can be said, but you find these out if you're fortunate enough. You enter into the Bhagwan of old age and so forth and so on. The Bhagwan of old age it hits you like a brick. And you begin to realize you're not the same I am that you were 25 years ago. And your sense of self is impermanent. That will disappear. It's gone, it's temporary. You've had many egos and senses of self in the course of your existence. You don't know who you were, even in your last lifetime before that, you had no idea. But in each one you clinged to and did the same thing you're doing now with this present experience that you have of what you call me. Your me is impermanent, purge. I still almost in the time. So much more can be said about it. I don't know if that helped you some. Right? So you can look at me, I ain't your same daddy. I can't pick you up and kiss you and rock you and all that stuff, you see? So you shouldn't expect that of me either, right? But do you understand?
Yes, sir.
This is your lived experience. I am not telling you something that is reserved for just Buddhas and so forth. All they're doing is pointing out. All of the teachings, so-called spiritual teachings, are just pointing out. They're just pointing out. You say, look, see, look, see. So it's that's just how it is, you see. One of our favorite teachers now, for me and Bilal, is
Chief.
Yes, Chief. Is a rascal named Fakhruddin Iraqi, Sufi mystic, great Sufi mystic. And his advice that he gave to those that came to him for spiritual friendship and so forth and so on. Iraqi says that unself yourself, and thus, for the first time, know thyself and be happy and free of all sorrow and suffering. Very interesting. These Sufis are way out, man, you know what I mean? But Iraqi hit it on the head. Unself yourself. And know thyself for the first time, and thus be happy, free of all fear and sorrow. Don't you think most of our suffering that we talk, we don't know ourselves? True? Right? Isn't that what the Kemetic mystics and sages always emphasize? Know thyself. Know thyself. Know thyself. You see? If you don't know that self, then you suffer. It is the fundamental cause of suffering. because you're clinging to an illusion that is changing moment to moment. It's like when your hair grows, you're not so conscious of it. You see, it's growing underground. So you're changing, sort of like your mustache has grown. You're changing, and you don't even know it. You're dying right now, and you don't even know it. At a cellular level, you all know that, so you're educated, you know these cells. With every breath you take, you die. In fact, in some tradition, your lifetime is based on the number of breaths you got left. I don't know what y'all done did with a lot of y'all breath. So you waste a lot of breath. Presuming you're going to catch another one. But the time is coming when you're going to get another breath. You were mentioning Paw-Paw. Paw-Paw wasn't much of a philosopher. He talked a lot about religion. But every now and then, you know, he used to say things, you know, later in life, more so than when he was a young man. He would say, everybody got a chance. In fact, I think Paw-Paw claimed that there was a gospel song called
I had my chance.
who said it?
I had my chance. Or you
go.
had your
Right.
chance.
But I think he wrote that song. I think personally, no, I never heard nobody else sing that song. But Paw-Paw would remind himself. I guess it was like a mantra, I had my chance. So that he doesn't fall into the blaming game. I had my chance. You see? It is a kind of lyric or mantra that forces you to become responsible for the consequences of your actions in your life and your living, and rescue you from the suffering of blaming shit on people. Great suffering. You see? You had your chance. So Paw-Paw used to always exclaim, I had my chance.
11 verses.
Yeah, I have my chance. You see, you think you ain't never had a chance. And you complaining and moaning and bitching and groaning about that. No. You've been given a chance too. Great chance.
Yes.
The chance of all chances. You're born human
Yes, sir.
with
Yes.
a precious human body. With all of this stuff in it. You see, even God is in here. And you're running to temples and mosques looking for God. When God is right here inside of you.
Yes, sir.
It's really interesting. Bilal's friend, Faruddin Iraqi says something else. I don't know why all of y'all got on this white stuff. It's making me feel Sufi up in here. But he says that, I don't know if it's true, but if he said it, it must be true. Take his word. He said that about himself. Fakhruddin said about himself that God looked at me and realized himself. And the mirror exposes great secret. And now the whole world knows. And God must have wanted them to know, because why would he tell a fool like me this? You see? You okay back there?
No, that's mental.
Who?
All of this.
But that's all right too. So would you pull that door closed? And we may be a little short today than we had anticipated, but you see, all of this is a lesson. This is Dharma. What you're just experiencing here, this is the Dhamma that the mystics talk about, that they write scriptures about. It's exactly like this. Exactly like this. You don't know when your last breakfast is going to be breathing. So the discourse today was given not by me, but by Mensa. That's the truth. So this is what's going to happen to you too. Now, if there's grace for him, then he may not die from this. You see, and let's hope and pray that there is grace, but he must learn from this. Are you with me? And understand that
He all right now, so they got him. They taking him all right now.
good.
Like tomorrow, we gonna ride with him.
Yes.
He all right.
So that's the interruption in his reality. And every one of us is going to have an interruption in the continuity of our so-called reality. Just like that.
Yes, sir.
And this is what there is to understand. So we couldn't have had a better satsang today than what just occurred. But if you didn't understand it, then, well, we can have some more conversation. We can explore some more. Yes, brother.
So what just happened is a hard way to learn. And like, how do I learn before I get to that?
I'm sorry.
How do I learn before I get to that? Before
Well, just understand that you're going to die too, first and foremost. That's the most fundamental thing. And not just intellectually and casually deal with the inevitability of your own death and die. Ancestors and wise men and wise instruction. You see? And you factor that into the way you're doing your life, which means that you got to now set your life in the palm of your hand. And look at what you're doing with it. You see? Paw. Look and see what you're doing with your chance. Now, what are you doing with your chance? This lifetime, this breathing in and out and so forth. What are you really doing with it? Right? And, yes, beloved.
Shake. When you talked about Paw-Paw, and also just in the mannerism and the demeanor of the set and how we are right now, it reminded me of, it's to the side, but it's to the point. I watch karate flicks, so one of the karate flicks that I was watching a long time ago, and the master teacher was doing calligraphy, and it was a calligraphy class, and all the students were in there, and they were invaders. So the invaders were coming to invade the school, and it was pretty teenagers, younger students, and the arrows were coming, and they started hitting the kids, the arrows from the invaders. So the students ran up to the master teacher, and they said, "Well, man, what do we do?" He said, "Well, now today you learn calligraphy." And the meaning I'm assuming behind that is today you learn whether you're in it or not in it. Because some students just picked up their calligraphy and kept going, and some arrows hit them, some arrows missed some. But it was that point that I think I'm putting together, that in that moment, either you were on understand or you don't understand, but there is nowhere to run.
Yes.
He was very, and some students gathered themselves, and an arrow hit right by his head. He just grabbed an arrow and started doing his calligraphy.
Yes, you see, these arrows represent the vicissitudes of life, you see? And your running and your fears, and basically that's where most people are at, right? You're running from the vicissitudes of life. Are you with me? You're not able to live through the vicissitudes of life. And that is based on your absence of knowledge of who and what you are. You're still convinced that you are this gross physical body. You see? Your understanding is at rock bottom. Can't get lower than that. You see? While there may be others, you see, these mystics and people, they understand I'm only consciousness formless. Nothing's happening to me. You see? I'm not at risk. You follow me? So they keep going. You see? You see? A Socrates would drink to him a lot, for no problem. You follow me? But Jesus would get on the cross because they're going to your thing. Ain't nothing happening to me. You see? Et cetera, et cetera. You follow the metaphor, right? So it had nothing to do with their intellectual understanding. It had everything to do with their sense of who they are. You see the distinction, right? And certainly, if their so-called understanding is pseudo-understanding, that don't count as pseudo. You see, it's not grounded in your experience. It's hearsay. Shit you done read in a book somewhere. That don't function, in those moments. True? True. So, it's an inexplicable phenomenon. Yes, beloved.
Yeah, Rush Nikamah, Master. I appreciate you speaking to us out your grace. I want to say that you and your beautiful daughter was discussing impermanence, which is Nika. That I want to say that I've been revisiting the Dristis, and I found it to be real sobering for me on a path to get straight. And I want to say, what way do Mithya Dristi ties into impermanence, or is it really dealing with the same thing?
Same thing. Mithya is just a Sanskrit way of talking about Mithya. You see, Mithya Dristi means seeing Anika. see, 'cause Anika is not a concept. You can see it. Look in the mirror. Look at yourself now. Have you changed? Do you look anything like you did when you were a little cute baby?
No, sir.
Ain't nobody walking up trying to kiss you. No more? No. You see? Change. It is obvious. You see, the truth is not hidden. It's only hidden from a fool. But it is not hiding. It is always already the case. You're in it. It is happening to you. Moment to moment. You see? But you're so distracted in your imagination, right? And in your fantasy world somewhere, you can't see what's right before your very eyes. You can't see. Jesus said you have eyes, but you can't see. Ears, but you can't hear. It's right here. Right? Drishti, see it. See it.
Just direct.
See it. But if you can't see it in yourself, you're not going to see it. No. Then you really are not a seer if you can't see it in your own self. At every level of the composition of your sense of self. You can see it at the level of your body, see it, the level of your emotion, feelings, your mind, your intellect, everything. See it. If you can't see yourself, if you can't know yourself, you can't know nobody. Actually, you can't know shit. You have a lot of theories, a lot of beliefs that you will immediately elevate to some kind of absolute truth. No, that's just your opinion. That's some shit you believe in. That's all. That don't count. You see? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
All right. You know, it's very interesting, you see, beloved, when it was this ability to see, you know, what's going on, that really transformed a Gautama to a Buddha. He's living a sheltered life of a prince, hidden, you know what I mean, blah, blah, blah. You all know the story, right? He decided, let me go see this kingdom of mine that I'm on here, you see. He went into the world, he saw a sick person walking, and he was thoughtful. Is that going to happen to me? Of course it's going to happen to you, right? Et cetera, et cetera. You know the story, right? Someone was pointing out to him, Buddha, see that? That's going to happen to you. See that? This is going to happen to you. See that? And he was intelligent. We're not so intelligent. In Pali, there's a word, pagal. Pagal means fool. And they base that on saying that those who see everybody else getting sick, dying, choking, right, fainting off, and so forth, but think and presume it will not happen to you, you're a fool. You see, you have arrogated to yourself immortality and something like that. You're not even sane, let alone intelligent. You're not even sane. So, I mean, this is you know, it's not flattering, but you got to see your condition. Otherwise, you're next. And that's just how it goes.
Yeah, beloved.
Yes, beloved.
I want to say that as well as what you were saying, that with the drishtis, it's about you directly seeing it and accepting it for what it is, by just its natural state, that I would say when it become like you will have to like accept and learn to accept what you're seeing as well, because you have told us some years ago that what you don't accept in reality would empower and increase your suffering.
Yes, yes. See, the non-acceptance of quote-unquote conditional reality, because this is conditional reality we're talking about. It's not absolute reality. So you have to keep that in mind. But necessarily, you must still be able to see first conditional reality as it really is, I believe. And then you have to accept it. And then respond appropriately. See, there's still right actions. The Buddha talks about right actions, right? Right understanding, right actions, right? So you can't stop with, I got the right understanding, but you don't have right actions. You still got a lot more Buddhism to learn. Are you with me? You see? And so you see, you're sick, right? You're not feeling well. The right action, go to the hospital. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Don't sit there and wish. You see my point? See, so don't confuse acceptance with fatalism and defeatism. No. Right action has to be done. You see? And then when the right action is done, then you can accept the consequences of your actions. This is interesting. Right action is required. Yes, beloved.
Kind of piggybacking off. You know, my issue sometimes I like to shrink things up. That's the issue. I like to take and it doesn't always work that way.
You at home.
So I guess right now my mind is wrestling with the preparation and experience. Are they congruent when you compare the right action? When you see, is it preparation and experience? How do they meet?
Well, when you say right action, well, acceptance got to come first, then your right actions, to put it in earnest language. Okay? And you see, now you're driving down the street, you have a flat tire. Now you got to accept that the tire is flat. You can't sit there and pretend it ain't flat and it's going to miraculously, or you can't go off on a tangent somewhere and saying that the damn car dealer, he sold me a rotten book. You see, none of that is right action.
Or just keep riding while the tire flat.
Well, as it get flat, that won't be your right action.
Right.
You see, you might decide that, but that's not the right action, Carl. You follow what I'm saying? There you go. But you got to accept it first. And then respond. Sometimes we say appropriately, but appropriately fundamentally can be broken into right action. You see? You see? And then the consequence and the result is all right. Because I did what was right. So it's all right. You can accept it. You follow what I'm saying?
I equate that.
Again, I equate. So I guess we use the term on the commercial sense, on the social sense.
Mm-hmm.
We use the term. It's just a term. It doesn't describe it completely, as you're saying. It's an experience. Term cannot match the experience. But we use the term putting forth excellence, meaning that just the best, exhausting yourself with the most that you have, that you don't have anything left, but you're able to have it because there's nothing else in the tank.
Yes.
In such a sense, if you exhausted yourself.
Well, you can sprinkle all kinds of idealism on it. You see, but fundamentally, you see, you'll notice, Ernest, when you really go deep into what your motive for actions. What moves you into anything called an action? You see, you do things, and you do things that you feel and presume will make you happy. Please make me true. That's all right. And so you have to have the insight that all of the actions you have done under the presumption that the results will be happiness has never occurred. Ever. Now go look at it. Go look at it. You see, you got pleasure, perhaps, but pleasure is not happiness. And it does not last. It's temporary at best. Right? And then you got to do something else. Happiness, capital H. Nothing else remains to be done. It's done. You don't have to go get married 4 times. If I would say. So, you see, right action goes very, very deep. You see, the mystics sometimes say they call it nishkama. You see, where you're acting and you're not dependent on the result of that action to make you happy, you already have. Yes, that's the closest I can come. It's a very profound matter. You see, it's a very profound matter. But all of that had a lot to do with what we were saying earlier, your sense of identity, where, you know, where you identify it. I think it used to be an old workshop somewhere where we talked about these lines of identity and so forth. Where's Adia at? Is he outside?
No,
I thought that was for Adia, but y'all were watching a particular workshop on the ego. Do we go into the lines of identity? Okay, that's what's the name of that thing again? Managing and coping with ego. See him, he knows. But it's a 4-hour workshop, the point I'm making. True? Something like that? 4 hours. So we can't gloss it, but see this guy afterwards. You can send it to him or something. If you want him to send it, Ernest, just ask him to send it to you. But it's 4 hours. You see, you go into school. See, we have a very wrong understanding about jhana yoga. You see, the way of knowledge and insight. You see, that path is not for everybody. You see, there's a great Sufi mystery, the great Sufi, they call him. You see, Ibn Arabi. You see, 7 years old, he had memorized the entire Quran. He became a Kawaja at 7. Hmm? 7. A Kawaja. Memorized the whole thing. Hmm? This is not armchair studying, casual. No. Lifetime is the book.
Yes, sir. Yes.
By the time he was 17, he already had thousands of students teaching. Very different things. Soup day and so forth. I mean, these people wouldn't like you and me, you see. We're pseudo-intellectuals, you see. They weren't intellectuals, they were scholars. You follow me? Pseudo-intellectuals, they know a little bit of this shit, they know a little bit of that shit, but they know nothing profoundly. Are you with me? Hmm? We'll know E equal MC squared, but you ain't no Einstein. You follow what I'm saying? You just mimicry, you see? Mummery, just repeating like you know what you talking about. These guys weren't like that. You see, Jonica was not like that. Huh? They weren't like that. They went deep. You see? Very deep. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they enter into the ashram. For the first 3 years, you can't even ask nothing. Period. No questions. Very good. And then after 3 years, when you can't ask the question, you can't ask the guru the question. You won't even see the guru. The guru will be behind the shield somewhere. You talking to he on this side, you on that side. Very, very different. 12 years is just minimum. You see? I mean, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
See, I always like to be careful about this because we can begin to arrogate to ourselves. You know, we come together once a month and we have these nice little conversations. This is no ashram you in here, all right? This is not the full process here. This is a teaser, the interest really, but this is not it. This is not it. Years. Years. And not just in these spiritual traditions that we're familiar with and talk a lot about here, but in Judaism, you know, the Torah, got to know it by heart. It's like becoming a kawaja, right? Right. And the Torah will be the scroll, and then the Rebbe will recite one word, and some part of that Torah, you expect to recite the rest of it. Otherwise, you can't teach Torah. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So we're just humble seekers. Yes. But Bible said, lean not on your own understanding, because your understanding is being made by your mind. A mind that is fundamentally ignorant, how will it make anything that is profound? So ignorant mind. It's the idea. Well, I don't want nobody else to think. Something else you asked me would like to explore about it. It's been a great day today. I'm so glad that we were all assembled here and we saw a demonstration. Beautiful. Beautiful. It reminded me again of a story. I don't know where all these stories are coming from. it was a mystic who had a little grocery store, right? Just a ordinary guy, right? And a guy came in one day, you see, and looking around to see who he can recruit and who he can align. And so he'll start teaching, you know what I mean? So it's the kind of, he was teaching the little average crazy looking man. He was teaching them all about Allah and all about this, and you need to come to my church. You know how this goes, right? And the man was just doing this business. He said, no, I know all of that. You see? And the guy said, you don't know any of this here. You know what I mean? I am a, you see? He said, no. He says, and do you know that you're going to die? He said, yeah, I know I'm going to die. He said, but you don't know you're going to die. You're just saying that. You're not prepared to die. He said, I am prepared to die. And the guy said, no, you ain't. And he said, watch me. He dropped dead. Oh, God. That's the difference between us and this. They drop dead. They go and cross. Mansoor can lay his head on that chopping block. You can't do that. You like talking about it. That's talk. You can't do it. You really can't. So we have to recognize this stuff to keep us humble, otherwise we get carried away with ourselves.
Yes, sir.
Just be careful. You can't do sadhana. You talk about sadhana. You can't do it. You can't get up every day, regular and punctual, and sit full time. You can't do that. You see? You just can't. Or won't do it. You follow what I'm saying? So, what is all this talk about? You know? You can't do it. You can't do sadhana. You would like to do sadhana, but you can't do it. You don't have that kind of discipline. You see? You're scared, in fact. You're scared of sadhana, basically. Because it will take time from you that you want to use to somehow engage your equality and so forth. That's all. You see? You're scared of it. It's the truth. Talking about sadhana, that's some of the most pleasurable conversation you can possibly think of. It is so pleasurable. But you can't do it. You don't do it. It's true. Well, that's the truth. And that's just the meditation that is in sadhana that is offered to us who are householders and so forth. You can't go up in no Himalaya mountains nowhere, man. You can't do that. You can't sit in no cave. You're scared of bugs. In the dark. Whatever. You ain't get to it. It's just talking. And then you, when your turn comes, and it will come, ready or not, and then we'll see. Then you'll see. You'll see exactly where you at. Maybe it is enough, but I can't say much more about it. I don't want to discourage you, but you have to understand, you see? No exception going to be made for you. You have to pay the same price all these other great beings pay, male and female. There's nothing special about you that you should be exempt because you're a nice guy, a nice girl. No. You got to pay the same price. That's just reality. You admire Buddha, but your admiration of a Buddha or Mahavira or a Patel or this or that sage or thing, that's your admiration is not equal to sadhana. It's just aspiration. It's not sadhana. You gotta do sadhana. And sadhana hurts. It hurts. And every level of it hurts. It really does. It's it's not ego gratifying, to say the least. You won't like it. It'll take a long time, much tenacity, perseverance. But if you do the work, you fall in love with it. Strange, I know. So that's it. Who will have the last word? Don't be scared. I'm be nice. Be nice now. Lord, was there anything that our friend Bhagwan said that you would like to share?
Well, I ain't got my book.
You ain't got your book. Okay.
He says so much though. He's a sleeper, you know. Roomy, like the analogy you use, like some people like a flavored wine, and somebody like a different drink and all of that. None is no better than the other, but Iriki, and it's just, you know, I like his drink better, you know. That not putting Rumi down either, because I like Rumi too, but he's, the way he uses the words, I can understand them better. That's all I can say.
He reminds me of Rumi. You know, he studied with Rumi. He went to Konya, right? And he was there with the Rumi. So I think they mixed a kind of brew that he says something like, when he said before any time and anything that existed, when the song and the singer was one, he said, I was drunk on this wine, and the world was my cup. It's like, it's something. You know, when did if someone can answer these quick, because it's not just unique to these guys like Enrique and Rumi, but when did you fall in love with being loving? Can somebody remember? Do you remember your first act of love, kindness, and then you fell in love with that? Do anybody? I mean, come on, please tell me something. And you had an experience. I saw you hugging a tree once. You see?
I still think about that tree.
You still think about that tree? Yes.
It was a special experience at the cooling house by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, I'm not by myself. And this tree is out there on a veranda with glass around it, and it's part of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, let me get close to this tree. It's here. It's just like me. I'm not by myself.
Right.
And I hugged it, and it was like a nothingness, but it was something at the same time. It was a stillness, but I could feel something connected with it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a beautiful experience.
You see? Now here's an interesting thing, psychologically speaking, because our nature is love.
Yes, sir.
Which means we want to love, right? But in most of our cases, we have not evolved to a level yet. Are you with me? So what it usually shows up as wanting to be important. Wanting to be important. Like being important. You see? But you really want to be more than important. You see, you really want to be important is just a little bit of the movement toward that potential, right? But you're love.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I recall the time when you said, growing up in All-Gill Gardens,
Mm-hmm.
they had the Beauty in Woods. And as a kid, I used to walk there. And it was the Calumet River.
Mm-hmm.
We had the greatest conversations.
Yes.
I had my swinging tree, wild strawberries.
Yeah.
And even to this day, in terms of being in touch with nature, you know, I love working in my yard, talking to the grass.
Well, I don't know about that. I was with you for a minute.
Smelling the dirt, seeing a worm grow.
Yes.
I mean, all those things that factor in the beauty of nature coming to life to speak.
Yes. Well, there's always been nature mysticism, you see, and we know that, you see. In ancient times, before there was mosques and temples, there were forests, and people that was moved out of that innate spirituality in them. We just go into the forest. You just sit till you read the knowledge of doctor, right? And that's it. And he just go sit by the water. See? And just be in nature. You see? It's the closest you can get to reality. Just being there. Just being. You see? Not doing anything. You see? Just being. You see? And so a lot of these sages and mystics and the transcendentalists had a whole movement here in the West. Nature. Just go to nature, get quiet. And you know what they would do? See, when they go into nature, they're listening. They're not touching, tasting. They're not doing anything. They're sitting there and listening. When you listen, you get far more insight and input than you do from seeing. I think I sent you a video or something talking about time. Listen. Yeah, much more of your brain is lit up. You listen. You see. And they go in there and they listen. You see. And men and women went in there and they listened and they learned how to reproduce those sounds. That's how you got music and instruments and all of that stuff. Listen. So yeah, entering into the silence and solitude. You see. Just be. And the Vijnana Bhairava Sutra, you know, those 112 names and method that Lord Shiva teaches to Chakti. A lot of it just listen. Be a little quiet. Some of the gatherings were just done in silence. They would say that the Buddha was leaving. The Buddha is just going to be quiet for 7 days and see who left. Then he'll speak. You see, hold robes up. You see, a rose will teach you much. You see, it's amazing. George Washington Carver came up with all that science and stuff on the piano. He used to listen to the piano. You listen to nuts, but the wrong one. All right, beloved, I haven't warned you rascals, so let's have some questions.
It's got to be the way it was before. Come on, we belong together. Ooh, we baby, sharing love forever. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm not asking for the world. You were mine, we were together. It was all so sweet. There was true love all around, and there wasn't anything better. It was incomplete. Let's start our love anew. Oh, do what we gotta do. It's got to be the way it was before. Cause we belong together. Ooh, we baby, sharing love forever. Like hand in glove, we were made to love each other. We belong together. Ooh, sharing love forever. Since I met you, my life's complete, baby. We belong together. Oh, yeah. Sharing love forever. Let me tell you, just you and me, girl, love makes three together. We belong together. Whoa. Sharing love forever. Baby, when life gets rough, we'll love enough and make it. We belong, gonna make it. Did you hold somebody's hand today? Did you try to understand? Did you help someone who's now live around and you're giving love? Won't you try and be a friend today? We can make it all begin.
Don't bring your closest to God.
Just a word can light a spark.
Don't get close to God or in places like this, or Mars or two, or reading a book. The more you love, you give up love. That's spiritual. That's getting closer to your true self. This is sadhana, the practice of love. That's sadhana, not this other bullshit.
Yes, sir.
Feeling me?
Yes, sir.
That's what the music is trying to say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Turn it up, Raj.
Yes, sir, man. Great, man. Feeling you, girl. Feeling you.
Big brother.